G'day guys, welcome to my RX feature video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Hyundai Aleague for match week 18's predictions for 2021 guys. So let's get started. So starting off with this first match of that game, we see the Melbourne Victory going up against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Now, in this game, what I didn't think in this match, I have a gut feeling in this game that the Western Sydney Wanderers will come out firing in that game, and they'll really put pressure on the Melbourne Victory. Melbourne Victory haven't been doing that good. They haven't been doing really well at the moment. And they're just being soft and sloppy in that performance. But in my opinion about this game, they've got really good players, the Western Sydney Wanderers, and I just have a gut feeling in that game that the Western Sydney Wanderers will do well in that game, but I reckon it won't be a high-scoring game since the Western Sydney Wanderers haven't been doing that good at all. And obviously, in my opinion about this game, I reckon the Melbourne Victory will score a couple of goals, yes, but they won't get a win. And I just don't think that they will win by obviously much. But the Western Sydney Wanderers, I reckon they will obviously win that game. And yeah, I just have a gut feeling that the Western Sydney Wanderers will do well. They will obviously come out firing like the Western Sydney Wanderers will do, and yeah, I just had a gut feeling that I knew this was going to happen for the draw, but I just didn't think that the Western Sydney Wanderers will do well, but I reckon they will. But yeah, I reckon the Western Sydney Wanderers will do pretty much really well, but in my opinion, my scoreline, I'm going to go with the Western Sydney Wanderers. 3-1 for that scoreline in that game. The next game of that match, we see the Central Coast Mariners going up against the Sydney FC. Now, in this game, it's like, say for instance, Melbourne City going up against Melbourne Victory, or Melbourne City going up against the Sydney FC. It's just like that, but I just still have a gut feeling that the Mariners will do well. But since they lost against Western United last week, I just still don't think that they will obviously win in that game. But in my opinion, in that scoreline, not the scoreline, sorry. I just don't think it will be big of a thrashing anyway. But still, in my opinion about that game, I reckon the Sydney FC will do well. I reckon Mark Barbarouses, no, hang on, it's not, I think it's Marcos or Marcus Barbarouses or something like that. I can't remember his name, but I know it's Barbarouses. He does really well, and he's like a speedster, that obviously is a finisher. But going up against Mariners, good quality players such as Matt Simon, you got Nisbet, Danny De Silva, obviously Aloe, Tonyik. I'm not sure about Tonyik if he is playing or not, but I heard that he's got a second yellow card last week, so I don't think he will play, so obviously that will change. But yeah, in my opinion about this game, I reckon it will be tight. It will be pretty much really hard in that game, so in my opinion in this game, I'm going to go with the Central Coast Mariners. And for that scoreline, I'm going to go with 3-2 in that game. And I reckon the Central Coast Mariners will only win by 1, but it will be 3-2. The next game of that match, we see the Newcastle FC going up against the Melbourne City. Now, in this game, which I didn't think in that match, that I reckon, in my opinion, in this game, I do have a gut feeling that the Newcastle FC will do well. This is two of another team that they will basically, obviously, win, but Newcastle FC haven't been doing really well. which that means they obviously tied last week 2-2 against the Newcastle Jets. But going up against this Melbourne City side, this good quality Melbourne City side, I reckon the Melbourne City will come out firing in this game and really get a top-class finish. Since Melbourne City did really well last week against the Melbourne Victory 7-0, and obviously Jamie McLaren scored 5 goals in that game and really did really well. But you got to obviously watch out for him because he's a real top-class finisher, and he's obviously a really good player, and he's obviously like the man to watch and obviously the player to watch in that game. So MacArthur FC have to put pressure on the Melbourne City, obviously, for that player. And I just think in that game it will be a tight game, another tight game in that match. So obviously, in my opinion, I'm going to go with Melbourne City, and I reckon they'll come out firing to make a really good win. But in this game, I'm going to go with 4-2 in that match, and I reckon it will be a close one. But I just think Melbourne City will come out firing in that game to make it a really good effort for their team and their club. And I reckon Jamie McLaren will obviously make 2 goals to obviously seal the deal, and obviously some other person to make it 2 goals. And I reckon that will be 4-2 for that scoreline for Melbourne City. The next game of that match, we see the Brisbane Roar going up against the Perth Glory. Now, Brisbane Roar haven't been doing really good. I know that they have been, but I still have a gut feeling that in this game, the Perth Glory will struggle and obviously won't seal the deal. But obviously, in my opinion, the Brisbane Roar will get a win, but I reckon it will be pretty much an average game. And last week, since Brisbane Roar have won a game, I just have a gut feeling that the Brisbane Roar will do really good, and I reckon Dylan Winsor-Halls will make one goal. To obviously seal the deal, but I reckon Dylan Winsor-Halls will play a really good match anyway. But for the Perth Glory side, you obviously got Bruno Fornaroli in that game, the only player that does really good in that match, or basically for the team. But I still have a gut feeling about this, and the Brisbane Roar have been obviously really good so far. But yeah, in my opinion about that game, I'm going to go with the Brisbane Roar side, and I reckon it will be a very tight game in that match. And I reckon Dylan Winsor-Halls will obviously seal the deal. So in my opinion about this game, I'm going to go with 1-0 in that match, and I reckon it will just be a boring game, but it'll be an average match. And I reckon Perth Glory will struggle, and they obviously won't make an effort, but they obviously probably will. But I just don't think the Perth Glory will win in that game, and I reckon the Brisbane Roar also too will only make 1-0 goal to seal the deal. The next game of that match, we see the Wellington Phoenix going up against the Adelaide United. Now, okay, this game, which I cannot believe in this game, the Wellington Phoenix have been really good, and obviously Adelaide United have been really good so far also too. But I still think in this game it will be a pretty gutsy performance, and the Adelaide United have been really good in a couple of games in a couple of weeks, and obviously for the Wellington Phoenix obviously so far. But in my opinion about this game, I just think the Wellington Phoenix will do really well to make a really good effort. But going up against this Adelaide United side, they've got really good players out there, and I just think it will be a very, very, very tight game in that match. And still, for a gutsy performance, I just still think that the Adelaide United, I just reckon Adelaide United will make a really good win of themselves. But still, in that match, I just don't think it will be a very high performance in that game. And still, in my opinion, about that match, I think the Wellington Phoenix will make a really good effort, but not good enough for the Adelaide United to make it a really good win. So I'm going to go with Adelaide United on this one, and I'm going to go with 3-2, the same scoreline as what I said before. I reckon the Adelaide United will just win, and I reckon the Wellington Phoenix will only score 2 goals but not win that game anyway. But I just reckon the Adelaide United will come out firing and make a really good performance, but I reckon it will be 3-2 for that scoreline anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Western United going up against the Newcastle Jets. Now, in this game, what I do think about this match, the Newcastle Jets haven't been doing pretty well so far, but the Western United have been doing pretty good. Last week, they obviously won against the Central Coast Mariners 1-0 in that game. But the Newcastle Jets haven't been on top of their form, and probably will see the Western United side make a really good win, and I reckon they will come out firing in that game to obviously put pressure on the Newcastle Jets side. And still, in this game, what I do think about that match, I still think that it will be a very gutsy performance, but the Newcastle Jets will fall apart in that game. And still, in my opinion, I just don't think that the Newcastle Jets will obviously win that game. But the Newcastle Jets haven't been that good, but they've been alright so far, but they just haven't made a win. That's the trouble for their team. And obviously, since that Newcastle Jets versus the Adelaide United a couple of weeks ago when I was there, watching that game, since they've got thrashed, it's been like really bad performance by them after that game, and it's been shocking performance by that team. So, in my opinion about this match, I reckon this one will be a simple match anyway, but I'm going to go with the Western United in this one, and I'm going to go with 5-0 in that game, and I reckon it will be a high-scoring game, and I reckon the Western United will thrash the Newcastle Jets in that game. The next game of that match, we see the Sydney FC going up against the Melbourne Victory. Now, okay, in this game, what I do think about this match, the Melbourne Victory, last time they obviously got thrashed 7-0 by the Melbourne City side. But first against Sydney FC, I just think that it will be a very bad performance by this team, and I reckon they won't make an effort at all. And I just don't see them winning this game into my attention, because going up against the Sydney FC side, which they have been pretty well outdealed, being really good by them, and I still have a gut feeling in that game that the Sydney FC will come out firing in this game to really put pressure on the Melbourne Victory side. But Melbourne Victory, I don't see them winning at all, and I reckon it will be another high-scoring performance. And still in this game, I just don't see them winning at all by the Melbourne Victory side, and I just don't see them making a really good effort at all. And obviously, they haven't been making an effort for the last couple of weeks and months. But still, my opinion about this game, I'm going to go with the Sydney FC in this one. I'm going to go with 4-0 in this game, and I just think that it will be a very good game, but I don't see a big thrashing. I reckon it will be 4-0 in this match to really put pressure on the Melbourne Victory side, as I mentioned, and I just don't think that the Melbourne Victory will obviously make an effort to basically win that game against the Sydney FC side. But yeah, I reckon we'll make a really good win by the Sydney FC to win that game. And last but certainly not least, we see the Central Coast Mariners going up against the Brisbane Roar. Now, as I mentioned before about this team, the Brisbane Roar side have been really good, but they've been average so far. And obviously, in my opinion, in this game, what I do think about this match, the Central Coast Mariners have been really good and obviously making a really good effort to really improve that they want to get on the first place on the ladder. But in my opinion about this game, the Brisbane Roar side, I reckon they will make an effort in that game, and obviously they probably will. I see Dylan Winter-Halls playing a really good game in that match, and I just don't see the Brisbane Roar winning that game. And I reckon, though, the Mariners have been pretty good, but unfortunately, though, they've lost against Western United 1-0. But I reckon in this game, it will be pretty much a really good effort. But I just think that it will be a pretty much hard game anyway. But in my opinion about this game, I just don't see the Mariners making a big thrashing against the Brisbane Roar side. And obviously the Brisbane Roar have been pretty much really good, and also the Central Coast Mariners have been pretty good so far. So in my opinion about this game, I'm going to go with the Central Coast Mariners on this one, and I'm going to go with 3-1 for that scoreline. And I just think the Mariners will make a really good effort to really put the entertainment on for the fans and for their team. But I just think Mariners will win against the Brisbane Roar 3-1 anyway. Thanks so much for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more. I'll be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, I'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Plus, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care, guys. Stay safe and have a good one. Plus, let's get up to 300 subscribers. So, we're sitting on 208 anyway. So, let's get up to that. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.